Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2 of the World with Nate podcast. This podcast was created to shed light on some of the stories and lessons that we accrue during our time here. My hope is that those stories will bring us all together in this thing that we all call life. My hope for this podcast episode is that you find it both enlightening and enjoyable. So, sit back and relax. I want you to enjoy the ride. Special thanks to my friend Buck Kern of Hawkeye Storage and Consulting for helping me bring Season 2 of The World with Nate to YouTube. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Season 2 of The World with Nate. Today I had to have this guest on, Jaxon Hansen, because of the incident that he underwent. He suffered a spinal cord injury in July of 2020, and we're going to talk about that experience, what happened that day, and the time after, his road to recovery, and all the things he's underwent in the community who have showed out in his support. Jaxon, welcome to The World with Nate, and thank you for coming on.
Glad to be here.
Heck yeah. His special friend, Caeden, who is also there, is going to chat with us and add to the story, being that some of the events are murky as to what happened, right? Let's start right with July 19th and the accident. And what happened, if you'll tell me?
So I'll start at like 5 o'clock. I was out at the Bible conference grounds, having dinner with some friends and just hanging out. And then went to my buddy's house, got picked up, went out to my friend's house where the accident happened. And we were just hanging out for, I don't know, just like 30, 45 minutes. Yeah. And then it gets pretty murky from there. But all I know is we put a trampoline over by the pond like probably 2 weeks before, which was my idea. And so I just asked my buddy's dad, and he's like, yeah, of course. So I was like, sweet, let's do it.
Seemed legit, right?
Yeah, I was like, this is going to be awesome. So we moved it over for like 2 weeks. Like, I've been diving in probably 100 times. And then just this one time, I guess, just hit the wrong spot. And I guess you know the rest, really.
Yep. Yeah, so like Jaxon was saying, we were there for our buddy's 16th birthday, actually. And we were swimming in the pond.
Typical day. You guys have done these things.
Yep. We thought we were there to celebrate his birthday, and then he actually made the pond about a month before this.
So dug it out.
Just got dug not too long before.
Yep. So his dad made it, and then we obviously put the trampoline there, and then there was a kind of like a 4-foot area right by the trampoline, and then it dipped into like a 12-foot area.
So it got deeper right where you had it.
Yeah.
And you had set it up in lieu of that, knowing those things.
Yep. So we had been diving.
I always just knew like you had to jump out far enough into the right spot and you'd be fine. But like
so I remember watching Jaxon, and he was jumping up. He was all alone on the trampoline, and he jumped up like really high. He got really high up in there and went down, and I didn't think anything of it. So then I kind of walked back to the back of the line like I was going to get on the trampoline. And then a couple minutes later, there was a bunch of commotion, and our buddy Caeden Sorensen, he kind of lifted Jaxon out of the water, and I ran over, and Jaxon was purple, and he was blue in his lips, and his eyes were rolled back, and he was kind of making like a weird noise. So we laid him on the beach, and
you had been submerged for a time.
I was under for they say like 2 to 3 minutes. I don't think anyone really knows for sure, but based off like the amount of water and stuff I had in my lungs, they said like 2 to 3 minutes, somewhere in that time period.
Yeah. So he was laying there, and he was making a weird noise, and I mean, before the accident, Jaxon like had rock hard abs, and like this time his stomach was just
distended.
Yeah, way extended, and you could just tell there was so much water and so much stuff in his.
Yeah, I was like 195 pounds at that time, and when I got to the hospital, I was 204. So it was just full water and sand. Yeah, so they had to suck all that out of me, right when I got there.
Yeah, what is the last thing that you remember of that day? I guess if you feel. Sharing it, dude. You don't have to.
Yeah, no. It's pretty funny, honestly. Okay. So one of the last thing, the last thing I remember is so we had these water balloons, right? And I thought it'd be so funny if I peed in a water balloon, tied it and threw it at my buddy. So I did that, and that's the last thing I remember.
Your last memory.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The piss balloon.
Oh shit, full pee. Hey, we're only kids once, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was 16 at the time. 16. I was like, this is going to be hilarious. I'm going to throw this at my friend.
And it probably was.
It was. Like, there was piss all over him. It was awesome.
He was pissed off, so it was funny.
Yeah. And then you took the plunge, and then, of course, did they determine what had happened? You hit a shallow spot?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they think, but the weird part is, like, I landed, so I broke an orbital bone in my eye also, and then a bone, like, in the base of my skull.
Okay.
So they don't really know, like, how I landed,
Right.
or, like, I don't know why my arms wouldn't have been in front of me or what, but I just hit it right, so that, or I guess wrong,
Right.
so that I broke this bone, broke the backbone, and then obviously the C5.
Right. So there's tons of, it could have been this, could have been that.
Yeah.
Nobody knows because you were the one in the water and
Yeah,
no one else.
yeah, and there's no one down there with me, obviously.
So then let's get back to that. You're seeing your friend like that. First, thanks for having the strength to share that.
Yeah.
Because that stuff's hard,
Yeah.
reliving those things. But you're here, and you're strong now. So thankfully, that's the case. But what was that like?
Yeah, that was definitely hard. I was shaking, I like uncontrollably couldn't stop shaking. I was just trying to get him to talk to me. I kept shaking his leg. He wouldn't respond, obviously, and we didn't know how to give him CPR at the time, being 16. So we ran in, got our buddy's dad and his mom, and then they came out, and luckily he did CPR from there.
Gotcha.
But the paramedics, they took a long time to come.
Yeah.
And when they did come, they weren't the best. They kind of walked over to us and
Didn't know the extent of the
they
severity.
didn't know what to do or anything. They actually had me carry Jaxon to the grass and not one of the paramedics.
Which is not
So
good.
that was-
And I know that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
that
that's
was
not good.
a crazy experience for me, obviously, like
Right.
having my friend like that. But I'm glad to see he's making
And
good
thankfully,
recovery. Yeah,
you had the strength to do it.
yeah,
And
definitely.
you were there in that
Yeah.
instant
Yep.
for your friend. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was God putting me in that and
Yes,
just
absolutely.
protecting my friends. So yeah,
Absolutely. So you said the orbital bone in your eye.
Yeah, which actually I didn't even know about that so I was in Iowa City for about a little over 2 weeks, and then I got x-rays back when I was in Cedar Rapids doing rehab, and on like the medical sheet it said like broken or fractured orbital bone and then some other bone in the base of my skull, and I was like,
news.
yeah, and I was like, dang, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, at the time it happened.
Yeah, had no idea. But when I was in Iowa City, my right eye always stunk super bad, and I could not figure out like why it was hurting so bad. I always have to put like a washcloth over it or something. And then after I figured that out, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Wild that
Yeah.
it took for that long to
Yeah.
figure all those things out. But you were dealing with you said fractured C5.
T5,
vertebra.
yep.
So what does that entail?
Well, it's really, all of them are different. So like it starts like C1, goes
down.
I don't remember for sure. It's like C7 or C8, and then it goes to your T1 through 12, and then it's like L1 through
Okay.
5.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah,
I'm
so
learning as
it
we
all
go.
goes down. There's like 3 sections basically. Your
Okay.
C's, L's, or C's, T's, and then L's. So T's like thoracic, and then C is like cervical. L is just, I think L might just stand for
Hey, man,
lower.
we
I don't
have to
know.
know 'em anyway.
But yeah, but anyway, it's like,
So up here, you're the top portion.
yeah, it's like up here, kind of at the top, right in the back of my neck, and then I don't know. It kind of just depends on like the person. Like some people have a C5, and they'll just be completely fine. Like this kid I know from Western Dubuque, he broke his, I think it was a C5, and he could walk after surgery.
Oh,
But
wow.
like there's some people, like I got a it's my dad's cousin. He broke his C5 like 30 years ago. He has no feeling in his legs at all.
So it varies
Yeah,
drastically.
it varies. Yeah, a ton. It
And
just
I'm
depends.
sure a lot of things go into that initial as well. I
Yeah.
mean, you were an athlete.
Oh yeah,
You said you were 195 pounds prior to.
trying to put on weight for football. Yeah.
Yeah. So going into it and having that muscle mass to protect your spine, I'm sure
Yeah.
played a pivotal role.
Oh yeah, that's what they said. They said like being an athlete and stuff helps a lot because you also just have like that mindset, like you wanna like work for it, and
Yeah.
you just have like a good work ethic. So
Yeah. You're prepared with those things.
yeah,
Yeah. So you don't remember the jump.
nope.
You don't remember the ride. So you went initially to Waterloo.
Yep.
Do you
To,
remember
Mercy
any
One, I
of
think.
that?
Nope, none of it.
No.
It was from the time like of the accident or a little before the accident to like waking up. It just felt like snap of a finger. Like I don't remember. It was like nothing happened.
Wow.
Like no time went by.
Right. Yeah. And then what is your first memory waking up in the hospital? Did you know any of what had happened?
I had no idea. So I woke up and they were taking the breathing tube out, which was like actually the most painful part because like I don't remember surgery or anything. So that I didn't really care about that. I didn't
Right.
even know.
Yeah.
So I woke up, they were taking the breathing tube out, I was like, man, this hurts.
Terrible pain.
Yeah. And then
I've never experienced it, thankfully, so I'm not trying to.
And then like I opened my eyes and I was just laying in the hospital, and they asked me like 5 questions because I was underwater for so long, they thought for sure I was gonna have like brain damage and stuff.
Right.
And so they asked me 5 questions, got them all right, and then but the 5th question was like, you know where you are, and I was like, shit, I have no idea.
Right. Yeah.
And so I just look up, and like there was a sign that said like Iowa City Children's Hospital. I was like, yeah, I'm in Iowa City.
And you got it right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
And they were like, wow, that's pretty good. Yeah. How'd you know that? And I was like, I don't know.
Use your room to its advantages, right?
Yeah. So then after that, I just started asking my parents questions and stuff.
And piecing it all back together.
Yep. And then I just remember the worst part was like them just pulling the blanket back, and I just saw my legs, and I was like, man.
Because you have no idea what you're walking into.
Yeah.
It's all being dropped on you in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what were the doctors saying in that moment? Your prognosis?
I don't even remember really.
Right.
Because like most of ICU was just a blur because I was on all like meds and stuff. And
pain medicine, probably.
Yeah. So it's like I don't even remember much of it.
Right.
I remember more of being upstairs on the 10th floor than being in ICU. ICU was really just like doctors in and out all the time, switching in and out stuff. But
the pain, was it terrible?
yeah, not too bad really. Like in my neck, it wasn't too bad. But I mean, I was on all those meds, IVs, like pills, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Keep me from feeling
having
it, I think.
a ton of pain, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, as his friend, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you guys, what did that look like after he leaves there? I'm
Yeah.
sure the worry sets in.
Yep.
I had shared earlier with you guys, I was at a July 4th incident, and there was a young girl who had hurt her neck. And the immediate, everything feels like it stops, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everyone is worried. You cannot hurt your head or your neck or your back, right? Like, those are the things we're taught from a young age, protect those things. And then when that happens, you fear for the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So as a friend,
Yeah.
what were you thinking when he's going to the hospital?
So there was about 30 of us there. So there was
a whole gang of people.
Yep. So the first thing we did, we all got in a group and we prayed for him. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep. So I feel like that was pretty big.
Yes.
Dallas's mom actually started the prayer and kind of led us through that. And then after that, there was a lot of tears, a lot of
uncertainty.
Yep. We didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if he was even alive. So we were all worried about that. And then as the night went on, we kind of figured out that he was alive and he was doing, he was going to Iowa City and he was going to be fine. So he was going to go through surgery and all that. So we were definitely relieved to hear that. But yeah, it was a lot of, like, I couldn't stop shaking or anything. I was just shaking uncontrollably, crying uncontrollably. So it was definitely a rough
Testament
night.
to you at least having friends that care about your life, Jackson. Right, dude? You're hearing it here firsthand if you've never heard it before. Oh, yeah. So, and then he's at the hospital, and I'm sure visits ensued, right? Like, as soon as possible.
Yep, I visited.
Well, it's during COVID, so actually,
So,
I didn't have anybody come to Iowa City.
Yeah.
Another thing we need to speak about, the time frame.
Yeah, so I was there, like, let me think.
Yeah,
I left. So I left on the 5th to go to Cedar Rapids, but I think it was on the 3rd. So I had to get a COVID test every 5 days,
Right.
and like I hadn't left the hospital, like I hadn't gone anywhere, I haven't even left my room,
Right.
and somehow on like my 4th test I test positive. So I'm like, there's no way, like that doesn't even make sense. So they do another test, and then it came back negative because at first they told me like I couldn't go to Cedar Rapids to start my rehab because they're gonna keep me there for like 2 weeks, and I was like, yeah, no way, it's happening. So I got
Because you were determined, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So I got another one, and they like came in with these hazmat suits on and everything. I was like, this is ridiculous. And then tested negative for that one, and then next day I got to go.
Yeah.
And then that was when you came, Cedar Rapids.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had an appointment up in Cedar Rapids, so then I stopped by and saw Jaxon for an hour or so. But it was kind of weird.
You were my first visitor.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, he was doing good actually that day. It was good to see.
So this was a little bit of time since the initial accident.
It had been like, probably 3 weeks since the accident.
Okay. And where was your mentality and mind frame at that point?
Honestly, it was pretty good. Like at first, I don't know, I woke up, and like those first couple weeks, I just kind of accepted it. I was like, all right, like just got to battle. And then I just started making jokes with the nurses and stuff. Like they'd come in, they'd be like, how you doing? I'd be like, I'd say stuff like, I'm good, but...
No more piss balloons.
Yeah.
Right, dude? We're done with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
One thing, I didn't even say this. One thing, so I was in there for like 3 days at first, and eventually I was like, how am I pissing? Like, I was like, I don't even know how I'm peeing right now.
Yeah.
And then
it hadn't all...
Yeah, I kept asking them. I was like, I haven't gone to the bathroom in like 3 days. And they were like, no, it's going right here. And they like, showed me it back. Because I woke up and at first I only had feelings like in my toes. And then like upper body, I had a lot of feeling. But lower body was just my toes at first. So I didn't even know like they had like the permanent catheter and, or like And then I saw that and I was like, oof, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. This explains it all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are things that we don't think about.
Yeah.
The urge comes and we go.
Yeah.
That no longer is your case, right?
Well, actually, so for a while I was cathing every like 4 hours, 4 hours. And they would like measure it in the hospital because they had a little machine that you could scan the bladder and stuff. But now I'm at the point where it's like waking me up in the night, like when I have to pee.
Very
so
good.
yeah,
you're regaining those functions.
Yeah, yep.
Very good. Very good to hear. And that's been a battle, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah.
This whole time you've been working on that. And those are things that, fortunately, we don't have to deal with, and you are.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking that on and doing it, dude. It's a cross to carry, and you're carrying it. Talking about pee, I brought it back up with the pee balloons. So what else does your road to rehab look like? You said that the feeling. Explain the feelings. You started out.
So feeling about nipple line and up, I got like all feeling, and then below that, it kind of gets a little less as I go down my back, but then it kind of picks back up. So my lowest feeling's about lower back, like right, pretty much right on my lower back.
Okay.
And then in the front, it starts like right about here is where it starts to get more and more, and then as I go down, it's more and more. So like I got this tattoo, and like barely felt the needles. Barely felt it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Only part that hurt, like it was shooting pain down into my heel, and I was like, oh, this kind of hurts, but like, the needles didn't even bother me. But then like as I get lower, like down in here, I feel a little more prickly stuff. So I feel all pressure, I should say, but like sharp pains, and so needles, and like I let people like slap my leg as hard as they want sometimes because I can only feel the pressure. I can't feel like the sharp pain of a slap. Yeah. So that's kind of fun, actually. Yeah. And then also like temperature. So like in the shower, I can't feel temperature, so I could put cold water, hot water on my legs. I couldn't even tell. Right. I have no idea.
But that also poses some risk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. So
we have extreme temperatures in Iowa.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous.
Yeah. So I also can't sweat. So that's like in the summer.
Your body will not sweat.
I can't sweat, yeah. Okay. So in the summer, I get super hot. Yeah. I have no way to cool myself down. And then if I'm outside for longer than like an hour, I'm just like, I'm struggling. Like I can barely breathe. It's like hard to stay out there. Same with cold. Like in the winter, I get too cold and I get home and I'm just cold for like 4 hours.
Your body
can't warm up. Yeah.
So you can't regulate the temperatures.
Yep.
And that's a direct correlation of the spinal cord injury.
Yep.
Wow. All of the things that our spine does, and I didn't know all of those.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's things like I discover weekly, really, and I'm like, wow.
On your road to recovery.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what does that look like? So you left Mercy.
Yep.
And then what?
Like after I went to Iowa City?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about your time in Iowa City.
So, yeah, I was in Iowa City, 5 days in ICU, and then went up to the 10th floor.
And that's for people who might not know.
Yep.
Elaborate on that a little bit.
Going up to the 10th floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, in ICU, obviously, it's just, ICU stuff.
Regular hospital.
Yeah. And then going up to the 10th floor, it was like, there wasn't even many people up there because it was just people that they weren't sure how long they were going to be there, like how much help they were going to need, or like how long, like honestly, they didn't know, like, just depends, like, on your situation. Like,
right.
Yeah, but I was there for 12 days, left there, went to Cedar Rapids, St. Luke's, and did rehab there.
And what did rehab look like?
There it was.
What sort of things are you doing to regain function?
So in Iowa City is where I really started rehab, and I was just doing simple stuff like playing, like, what's that game called? Where you got to get 4 in a row. Is it called 4 in a row?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong people anyway.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, with the
Connect 4.
Connect 4.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I was playing Connect 4, and my rehab was literally just like trying to pick up those pieces.
Yeah. Dexterity.
Yeah. So in my camera roll, actually, the video right before the accident is actually you and me blowing up a garbage can with a firework at Bertzel. And then the next video is like my hands just like this, just like barely moving. So it just
dramatic turn of events.
Yeah, dramatic turn of events.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was doing this all the time. I was just going like this, like just trying to strengthen my wrist. And then I'd do like sitting up. I just have my arms out, just trying to sit up as long as I could, because I couldn't even sit in my chair for longer than like 2 minutes.
Because of your spine strength?
Well, because of like my blood pressure.
Okay.
So I couldn't sit up for longer than a couple minutes or I'd pass out.
Okay.
Like, all the time. I'd pass out like 5-6 times a day.
Wow.
Just because I couldn't sit up for any longer than that. But so yeah, I did a little bit of rehab in Iowa City, and then Cedar Rapids is when I started doing like some real rehab, and it was just like 2-3 hours a day, a couple hours of OT, couple hours of PT. PT was mostly just trying to work on like roll around and just get some like basic strength back, like being on my elbows and doing like these little sit-up thing or push-up things. And then the OT was kind of dumb, I'm not gonna lie. It was just like picking stuff up, or like sometimes I got to do weights, which was fun because I got to get back to like weightlifting. But
back to your grind.
Yeah, but other than that, it was just like picking up little tiny things, or like learning how to make like oatmeal or something.
It's not geared to somebody who's trying to be a pro athlete.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, I mean, the people there, I was the youngest person on that floor by like,
Yeah.
I don't even know, 50 years probably. There was like no one that was my age. A couple times there was a couple people in and out, but they were never there that long.
Right.
But yeah.
So it was quite the experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then as a friend, what are some things that you're thinking about during that period of time? You know, you're going and visiting him.
Yeah.
What does your role look like as a friend to someone who went through this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every time I went, Jaxon was definitely in good spirits, especially the first time I went to visit. I mean, he was happy. He was the same person that I had always known, you know. So, yeah, so that was good to see.
Super long hair.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously seeing that he's getting better and he's working at it. And, I mean, before the accident, Jaxon was one of the toughest guys I know. So I'm not just saying that too. Like, he would always be the hardest worker in sports, and he was always the most athletic kid and always wanted to, you know, be better. So I knew he would definitely push himself to get better on this path. So yeah, it was definitely tough at times, but it's good to see that he's making good recovery and see where he's at. Yep.
How did you stay with that mentality? Things had to have gotten hard some days.
Oh yeah.
And what did those days look like when things did get tough? Who'd you lean on?
It was kind of just a lot of like, just like being by myself and just like trying to process stuff. And then next day it was just wake up, better mentality, get back to it, really.
Start every day new.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all you can do, right? Some days.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's a good attitude to have. So now that we are at a space where we know what happened, we talked a little bit about the recovery.
Mm-hmm.
What does the road to recovery? So right now, what's your mobility look like?
Yep.
And what's the plan to walk?
Yeah, so right now I'm going to the gym 3 days a week, 2 hours at a time, working out with my guy Travis.
Okay. What gym? Where at?
The gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The gym.
Yep. Out by Target Distribution.
Okay.
And so right now yesterday I went and just did like, just like he stretches me out and stuff, gets my body all loose. And then I do kind of assisted squats. So how that looks is I got my arms up on a bar, and then Trav's in front of me, just kind of guiding my hips, and then I got someone on each side. So just make sure I don't fall to each side.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of using my legs to push through, and then use my arms to kind of pull myself up. Just do squats. I did I did probably 10 sets yesterday. I do like 6-7 squats at a time. So it's just repetitive, really.
Yeah,
and just
trying to get those movements back.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I did when – I didn't even talk about that. Down in Florida, I was there for like 3 months, the winter right after the accident, and their whole thing down there was like neurological reengineering.
Okay.
So they kind of
speak on that.
Yeah. So they kind of started like with your brain, like they teach it like it's just muscle memory, really, just like how any basic thing is just muscle memory.
The ability to walk.
Yeah, or like just anything,
do
really.
Anything.
Yeah. So stuff like that. down there I just did like some leg press, and then like I would bring my working my hip flexor, like bringing my hip, like, or bringing my leg like in and out and stuff like that.
And they would work with you, building that mind-body connection.
Yep. So that was every day, 2 days a week. Or, I mean, every day, 2 hours a day.
Okay.
And that was where I really got like my real workout plan. So then when I came back here, I kind of just put that into...
Had a guide.
Yep. Put that into work out at the gym. Started going there 3 days a week. And
so after this had happened in 2020, you were how old?
16.
And you're a sophomore, junior?
Just finished sophomore year, yeah.
Okay, so you're going into your junior year.
Yep.
And this happens. And it's the pandemic.
Yep.
How did you do school as a junior?
Yeah, I was down in Florida for about a semester.
With who? Who was down there?
Just
with
my
you?
dad.
Okay.
Just went down with me. We stayed at this place called Molly's House. It was just a big house for like people. So there was a big hospital right down the road. And so people just come in and out of there all the time.
For families, like Ronald House.
Yeah, just like that pretty much.
Gotcha.
Just called something different.
Right.
And so we stayed there and just this huge house. But a lot of times there was like nobody there, so we were just hanging out in this mansion. It was awesome.
To you and your dad.
Yeah. And so school, I did 2 online classes and that was it. So I only got like 2 credits while I was there. So I pretty much skipped my whole junior year.
Okay.
But I had enough credits to
built up from
previous years. Yeah.
Okay.
And then got enough credits this year to still graduate on time, which is nice. So didn't have to go back with the class below.
So then junior year was done and you did it online. And then what did senior year look like
Senior
for you?
year, just normal schedule. I had 5 classes, 2 hours of release, so I could go to the gym during the day still.
To get that porch. That's a need for you.
Yeah. And then, so state law is just 40 credits, but like CF requires 45.
Okay.
But legally you only need 40, so I graduated with 40.
Okay.
Or
because
40 and a half, I think.
Out of your circumstance.
Yeah, I didn't even have time to get to 45, but 40 was enough for me to graduate, so still got those in. And I just had normal classes. Some of them were classes that you take as a junior because I hadn't gotten those requirements yet. So I had to take some with like my math class was all juniors. Yeah, they worked with me really well.
Very good.
I was able to do pretty much everything on my phone because I can't type very well. So
because of what had happened.
Yep. So don't have many movement in my fingers. So I could use my phone really well. I got to use like Google Docs, figured out how to use everything for school really, just all on my phone. It was all on there.
Yeah. So in the future when you're ready to do your podcasts, all of my stuff I do on my phone too. So
really?
Heck yeah. It's fitting for you, dude.
Yeah,
we're ready for it.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Perfect.
Heck yeah. That is cool that to hear, being a local community member, that our community, we made it work for you, not the other way around, because it should be, it's not your choice that this happened, but we got to move forward, right?
Yeah.
So, you graduated. Did you graduate on time with everybody else? Just like all that shebang? And I heard you guys talking with an intern about graduation parties and the typical senior shebang. As a friend, so you drove in the mobile. You drove him here. Is that something that happens?
Yeah,
a lot.
Oh yeah, it's like every day because I can't drive yet.
Right.
I got to go get like a special license to be able to drive.
Okay.
And the van has hand controls though, so I can drive if I wanted to. But every day I've usually got someone driving me around.
Is that
just find someone to take me.
Schedule or
sometimes schedule in advance, but sometimes it's just like that day. I'm just like, hey,
dude, I need
call
some
up. Like, you want to drive the van today?
Yeah, and then you just have to get trained in that or signed off like a special license. Or
I don't really know how it works. I haven't looked into it a ton, but
not
I know
right now.
Yeah, you got to go somewhere and take a little class. It's like 10 hours of driving, but I've tried driving it. Just in the old Kmart parking lot.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm so bad at it. I cannot do it.
Not something you want to do right now?
No, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Because I just can't. I kind of got to lean forward to do it, and I just don't have a ton of core strength.
Yeah.
And, like, my triceps, I don't have really any triceps. So it's hard to, like, sometimes it's hard to turn the wheel all the way because I just can't fully extend.
So those are things you're working through, right?
Yeah. So at the gym, I work a lot of my triceps, doing tricep pull downs or, like, just overhead, just working on pushing through that.
Yeah. What other things have you helped out that you don't mind sharing? What's the daily life like that you need help with? What things?
Yeah. So, I'll just like go through today basically.
Yeah.
Like today.
You wake up in the morning.
Yeah, this morning woke up. Dad helps me like shower and stuff, so I need help. He lifts me in and then lifts me out, and I can like shower and stuff on my own, but then I just need help transferring. Yep, transferring is the biggest thing right now.
Right.
That and like bowel and bladder.
Yeah.
Those are the biggest thing. Those are really like the only things that I need a ton of help with, because other than that, like came here, he drove, which I do. Like obviously need help with the driving.
But you got in and out all on your own.
But yeah, get in and out, and then like I'll need to ride out to the gym. I'll work out there with Trav again, and then after that, I can eat on my own. I can like brush my teeth on my own, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I can make some food on my own out of town, like a sandwich if I just want to make a sandwich.
I can make some food on my own. So,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, or like a favorite thing of mine to make is just like put peanut butter on a tortilla and
Easy
eat
enough.
it. Yeah. Get some protein.
Yeah. Put some bananas in there too.
Yeah.
Get some potassium.
Yeah, I can peel a banana. One of the first things I learned how to do in the hospital was peel a banana.
Because all of those things now have to be relearned.
Yep. So I just got to, like, pretty much nothing I do is the same way that a normal person would do it. Like, even the way I eat, like, I got to hold my spoon or fork. I got to, like, wind it through my finger so I can hold it.
Right.
So I have more strength to hold it, because I can't hold it just normal like this. It'll slip right out. Or, like, brushing my teeth. I got to, like, so my hands spasm, and I can actually, like, make them spasm on their own. Like, I can just do that, like, clench them. I'm not actually doing that, though. It's just a spasm.
Huh.
And that's why I have to brush my teeth so I get a better grip on it.
Gotcha.
Stuff like that. Or, like, if I'm grabbing something, just spasm, and then I can grab it.
Little intro intricacies of how you're learning how to live with it.
Yep.
And then you're constantly working towards that goal of walking.
Yep.
Heck yeah. So we talked a little bit about rehab and recovery and all the things, the exercise-based therapies that you do. Mm-hmm. What does your future look like? What do you want out of life?
Yeah. Well, so I had a call about 2 weeks ago. There's this thing called an epidural stimulator.
Okay.
And basically what it is, they just take a battery, connect these leads to it. It goes up into your like spinal cord and just different parts of your body. And basically what it does, it just shocks your muscles. Like it just tries to wake them up kind of.
Muscles around your spine?
Yeah. Or your spine leads to your whole body, so everything leads to it. So it just shocks that, and it kind of sends signals to the rest of your body. And so I got a call on the 12th again. They have to talk about like the candidates. So it's Ryan Shazier. He had the spinal cord injury playing football, and it's his doctor actually.
He was the Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yep.
Correct.
So his doctor out in Pittsburgh contacted us, and he's like,
You may be a candidate for this specialized treatment.
Yep. So we had a call.
Very cool.
Yeah. So July 12th, they talk about it, and then they're going to like get back to us, see if I can be a candidate. So if I am, I'm going to go get that.
Very cool. And what is the ultimate purpose of that? You said to shock?
Yeah, it's really just whatever you can get out of it. So some people do it, and they get like bowel and bladder back, which even that would just be huge.
Right.
Some people just get like hand function back, which even
varies. What benefits people receive.
I mean, it's same as the injury. Like, it depends on the person. Just depends how your body reacts to it, really. So you just see.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to this.
Yep.
And you said it was the 12th that you will find out.
That's when their meeting is. So I think. I don't know why they would call later than that, but that's when their meeting is to.
So later this month, you'll know.
Yep.
And we're hopeful for that. Mm-hmm. I had read, so your mom does updates via Caring Bridge, which a lot of people know about that because that's used a lot to update in medical crisis like this. So Jaxon does have a Caring Bridge page that I will share links to so people can read about, because I read all about this. Your mom does a wonderful job of keeping it updated. So people who have experienced these sort of things can relate. Help them, You may be blazing a trail. You never know. All this is new, correct? This Pittsburgh stuff.
Yeah.
With the spine treatment.
Yeah. So it actually started with, we found a place in Mexico that did it in Guadalajara, and it was going to be like $100,000. So we were like, let's like try to find somewhere else that we can do this, and like. We didn't want to drive all the way down to Mexico.
Sketch.
It's like 28 hours. Yeah, exactly.
Sketch.
Yeah. So then Pittsburgh came into play.
Right.
Just like out of nowhere. And so we've been looking into that now, and just hoping we can go there and do it.
Praying for the best.
Yep.
Heck yeah. And Caeden, you're along for the good ride.
Yep.
Hell yeah. So after that, you're planning to go to UNI.
Yep.
Was college always a dream? What did that look like?
Yeah, so even before the accident, I was like, I don't really want to go to college. Like,
Okay.
I didn't like school. Like,
Yeah.
I just didn't like anything about school. So I was like, I'm not trying to go to college.
That's fair, dude. I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, like the only way I was gonna go is if I got like some like D3 offer for basketball or something. Like I would have gone probably.
So prior
Just play
to
basketball.
the accident, ball was your sport, basketball?
Basketball, yeah. I played basketball, football, and then I high jump and track. But basketball was always my favorite for sure. So then,
You had aspirations maybe of doing it?
yeah, maybe something little, yeah.
Yeah.
So then, this last basketball season, I was talking to Coach Jake at UNI, and he's like, hey, would you like to be a student manager? So I was like, yeah, definitely.
Heck yeah, you cannot turn
But then,
on that.
yeah, and then like the first thing I asked is like, you got to go to college still to do that?
Oh, dang, you were hoping to sit out, huh?
yeah. I was like, can I just come to practice and
Just hang
stuff?
out?
Yeah.
I don't know if it works like that.
No,
dude.
it doesn't.
No.
Trust me.
Yeah, you know that now.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, I'll be going to UNI, gonna study sports PR, and I don't know, just see
where it goes?
Yeah, see where it goes.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
why I had made the comment. We would chatted before, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I made the comment about podcasting. Well, dude, that we're about wrapped up with time for today. I appreciate both of your guys' time. I think the world of both of you, the strength to witness what you did and move forward when you did. It's honorable, and you're an uphill battle, and you're facing it, and you're killing it. And it's an inspiration to everybody who you come in contact with, and never forget that.
Yep.
Because everyone's watching, and it's contagious.
Oh, yeah.
You're changing the world for the better. So thank you, Jaxon. But you got to come to the firing range. Are you ready for
Yep,
your
I'm ready.
questions? I
I'm
warned
ready.
you, so here we go. And this episode of The Firing Range was sponsored by Joe and Brittany Wilson. You can call either of them at Vine Valley today. They are licensed separately with 30 years living right here in the Cedar Valley. Even if you're just pondering your choices, you don't know if you want to buy or sell, you can reach out to them and talk about your options. You can contact Brittany at 319-230-6922 or Joe at 319-486-8115. I'll have their contact information listed. Are you ready for
I'm
the
ready.
firing range?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Your first question is inside or do you prefer outside?
Inside.
Deodorant or body spray?
Deodorant.
I was gonna judge you on that. You chose
That was a
body
good choice.
spray. shoes or your clothes?
Clothes.
Baseball or basketball?
Basketball.
Four Queens or Dairy Queen?
Fort Queens.
Cheeseburger or pizza?
Cheeseburger.
Country or city?
Country.
Truck or car?
Car.
Hanging with friends or taking a nap?
Friends.
Changing the past or do you want to see the future?
Ooh, see the future.
Hell yeah, Jaxon. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Caeden. I appreciate you coming
Yep,
on, dude.
thanks for
I think
having
a lot
us.
of you guys, yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you,
It was
boys.
fun.
Oh, yeah.
Special thanks to my friend Katie Hine at Mattress by Appointment, Cedar Falls, for her sponsorship of Season 2 of The World with Nate.